Hey howdy, I'm Jeb, and welcome to the lazy plant corner of the internet. Here's the beginning of making content with plants. I really hope you stick around. I really hope that you get a sense of my style and you want to hang out with me on a more frequent basis here in the lazy plant corner. Hiccups. And on that note, let's get into today's video topic. So today is December 21st, which means that in only a matter of a few days, we will be in 2021, baby. And 2021, 2020 was a ride, and so my only hole for 2021 is to have a good year, to have a better year, even though 2020 was actually a pretty good year for me, COVID aside. So on that note, we're going to be talking about my plant wish list today. So these are the plants that I'm hoping to collect in 2021. These are the plants that have been on my list for a while. I'm going to include pictures of them, and there's really not much else to say. Let's just jump right in. So number one on my plant wish list, and now these aren't necessarily in order, but this actually is number one because I've been looking for it for, and that is Euphorbia trigona. Okay, that's the African milk tree, the beautiful tricolor cactus looking succulent, and I have wanted this plant for months and months and months. I almost found them. I posted on my local buy sell trade group on Facebook looking for Euphorbia trigona, and a bunch of people offered me cuttings, but people were like, oh, I found them at Lowe's, and I was like, you found them at Lowe's? So I went to Lowe's, and do you think they had any left? No, but they were selling like 4-foot tall euphorbias for like $30, which where I live is an incredibly good price. So now that I know that big box stores like Lowe's carries Euphorbia trigona, I'm looking forward to, in the spring and summer seasons coming up in 2021, to look for Euphorbia trigona because I think I'll be able to find it pretty easily for pretty cheap. My next one is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Now, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma is incredibly expensive where I live. Recently, I saw a 6-inch pot with like 4 or 5 leaves, 1 vine for $52. Okay, I see people finding Raffies in like Lowe's in the States. That's just not how it works here. Unfortunately, I live in Canada. Prices for all tropical houseplants are more expensive in Canada. There are some comparable areas in houseplant collecting, like pothos are usually pretty standard across the line. Snake plants usually pretty standard across the line. Some philodendrons usually pretty standard across the line. But anything that is considered slightly more rare or even just slightly more sought after is typically more expensive where I live. So Rhaphidophora tetrasperma is going to be a case of right place, right time for me because I see them regularly where I live, but I have never found one that is a price I'm willing to pay. The third plant on my plant wish list is watermelon peperomia, or the Peperomia. Is it the Argyrius? I don't remember. I'm gonna call it the Peperomia Argyrius, even though I know that's not right. But anyways, I had a watermelon peperomia, and I killed it. It got root rot. Very susceptible to root rot, I have heard. Unfortunately, that was the downfall of my plant as well. So unfortunately, no watermelon peperomia in my collection currently, but I know I can find them pretty easily here. I got mine at a Canadian Tire, which is basically like a Home Depot or something. And so I should be able to find it again fairly easily. But my tricky thing, I love peperomias. This entire shelf, I'm going to do a peperomia collection, but this entire shelf behind me, you can't see all of them, but they're mostly peperomias. I love them. They're probably one of my favorite plants, but unfortunately, watermelon peperomia bit the dust. Next is a Skindaps Pictus Exotica. Now, right directly behind me in this lovely terracotta pot is my Skindaps Pictus Argyrius, or the regular satin pothos, even though it's not a pothos. And I really wanted the Skindaps Pictus Exotica. This has been the Skindaps that I've wanted for the longest, but unfortunately, again, incredibly expensive where I live. I once found like a 4-inch pot of it for $100. Like, it's ridiculously expensive, and I just can't bring myself to pay that much. So I settled for the Argyrius, but Exotica is still on my wish list, and I hope to find it in 2021. The next plant on my wish list is Philodendron Mikins. Again, another incredibly expensive plant where I live. Recently I saw like a 4-inch to 6-inch pot, I don't know what it was exactly, for $140. It is just outrageously expensive. I cannot bring myself to pay that much, even though I know Mikins is kind of a rare plant. I can't. It's against my rules. But one day I will find a Philodendron Mikins and I will love living in my home as much as I love having it in my home. At least that's my hope. Okay, next is the Peperomia Pastrata, or the string of turtles. Now, obviously I just went over this. I love Peperomia. I want all the Peperomias that I can get. Well, there's a few that I'm not super interested in, but most of the Peperomias, I love them. I want them. I love the string ofs varieties. Typically, like, you know, we have the Ceropegia woodii, which is string of hearts, but it's a Ceropegia, not a Peperomia, so different but very similar in look. I'll put 2 pictures of them right here. But yeah, so Peperomia Pastrata is definitely on my list. I have never seen it here, so, you know, but then again, I've been at plant collecting for less than a year, so. Okay, next on the list is the fairy tale cactus. Okay, I want the fairy tale cactus so bad. Another one that I've never seen here where I live, and I am willing to get it in any size pot. Okay, I'd be willing to even get like a 2-inch pot of it if that's what it takes to get one. But obviously I'd like a bigger one to have the full fairy tale. It's called a fairy tale cactus, but for some reason I had it in my mind as it being like a fairy castle cactus, because it looks like a castle. That's the whole I really don't know. Also, I just got super distracted because it's
snowing outside right now. It's the first time it snowed all year where I live, and like, you can't tell that it's snowing where I live because there's no snow on the rooftop right across from me, but I just caught it out of the corner of my eye and it's like fluttering down. It looks really beautiful. So anyways,
yeah, fairy tale cactus. Don't care what size pot it's in. Haven't ever seen one here. Hope to find one in the coming year. Next is the Hoya Obavada. Okay, I am not super into Hoyas. I'll say that right now. They grow very slowly in my care, and I love Hoyas. I have a couple of them, but I'm just not a huge Hoya person. Not for any particular reason, I'm just not. But the Hoya Obavada, oh my god. Okay, similar to my love of Peperomias, I love the big, round, juicy leaves. Hoya Obavada is a perfect example of that. I can't wait to find one of these because they're just so succulent-like and just juicy looking. I love them. Okay, so Hoya Obavada definitely on my list to find in the new year. Next is Sibu Blue. Okay, Sibu Blue for the last year was really expensive where I live. Now it's tapering off, getting cheaper, but now I'm not finding as many of them. So I haven't seen a Sibu Blue in a nursery or big box store in like at least 6 months. But I know that they will come back, so I'm got my fingers crossed for a relatively fair priced one in the new year. Next is the silver stripe philodendron. Now I have the classic Philodendron Brazil, the heteroecium. I love the Philodendron Brazil. It's very beautiful. However, I almost got rid of it because, and I was saying this in this whole separate video, but I had stunted it for a really long time. And I was like, well, this fucking sucks. Like, it doesn't grow. It does grow, and it is growing now that I've moved it. But I had stunted it for quite some time. And I just think that in, like, juxtapositioned right next to the Philodendron silver stripe, oh, so beautiful. I'm really looking forward to finding a Philo silver stripe because they're just so beautiful. Like, I love the Philodendron Brazil, but I love the variegation of the silver stripe even more. So fingers crossed for me, girls and gays. And then the last plant on my wish list is actually one that I have a little surprise with because I found it today. And now you may have noticed right here behind me I have this Cissus color, and I will bring her down to show you more up close. So this is my Cissus discolor, also nicknamed the Rex Begonia Vine. It is not a begonia, it is a cissus. But yeah, oh my god, I'm so in love. I'm so in love. It's so beautiful. And so the story with the Cissus discolor is that my local nursery got a shipment of them in with these trellises a couple weeks ago. When I was there, I saw them. I was like, damn, I love Cissus discolor. I've been on the hunt for Cissus discolor. It's on my wish list. Should I get one? It was like $32 for this, like, I don't even know what this is really. It says 19 centimeters, so I don't know, it looks to be like maybe an 8-inch pot. It's definitely not a 10-inch, but it's also definitely not a 6-inch, so maybe 8 inches. Anyways, found this one, leaf down. So they were like $32, and I was like, too expensive for me. And I just waited, and then today I had to go to the nursery because the person I got for Secret Santa at my work loves plants. So I was going to get her a plant, and I saw that they had this one Cissus discolor left, and it was marked down from $32 to $17.99. And I was like, well, golly gee, if this isn't my lucky day. And so I snagged her up, just like I'm going to snag you up. I snagged her up, and I was so excited because, like, I just went on a big rant about she's been on my wish list for a while, and I was just so excited. And so I finally found one, and there's really nothing else to say except for I'm very excited. And are you leaving me? Oh. Anyways, that pretty much wraps up the video. I found this is discolor. That's my last wish list plant. So I'm already checking 2021 wish list plants off the list, even though we're still in 2020, which is pretty good. But I'm confident I'm not going to find any of the other ones anytime soon. So I'll just keep my little listy with me and check them off as I go. And on that note, thank you for tuning in. There's not much to say, folks. I mean, we've done what we have done, and we will continue to do what we will continue to do. But for the time being, if you're interested, subscribe, check back, see what else I'm going to be posting. If you have any tips for the Cissus discolor or any of the plants I talked about, please leave them down below. I know nothing about really any of those plant care things. I mean, obviously, like Philodendron silver stripe, I know how to take care of that one. I have other philodendrons in my home. But outside of that, it's kind of a mystery. They're all a little new to me, so especially the Cissus. So if you have some input, let me know. And so yeah, leave a comment. I'd tell you to like, but you'll do that if you want. So that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having a lazy few minutes with me. And I'll see you again in a lazy few days.